Hello and welcome to Queen Mary Questions, the show that allows you, the students, to ask prominent figures in Queen Mary whatever you like. This month we are joined by Miranda Black, who is the President of Queen Mary Student Union.
Hey.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So students have sent us their questions and I'm going to ask them to you. Some students have expressed angst over the President of the Student Union and the fact that they take a paid position in the university.
Yeah.
So how can you reassure them that you are truly representing them?
Yeah, of course. When I put my manifesto together at the beginning of the year, it wasn't just about the things that I'd heard when I was in my welfare role last year. I wanted to make sure that I was doing specifically what students wanted me to work on. So a lot of my campaigning wasn't about going out there and saying, vote for me, this is what I'm going to do. It's, if you were running for this role, what would you want to do? So I had an open book where I asked people to write down the things that they wanted to see changed the most. And then these are things that since I've grouped and put into my action plan to carry out. And the action plan is online so students can follow what I've been working on.
And obviously no 2 days are going to be the same, but if you could, on a kind of average day, what would it look like for you?
Today I have been writing a report. I'm going to see the principal and the vice principals next week about a desire to put up tuition fees for both current and incoming students. So I met with the principal this morning to sound out some of the ideas that I had, and then I've been working on my report since. I met with the head of residences to talk about a sustainability campaign, and we also have a weekly exec meeting on a Friday where we talk about meetings we've been to in the week, actions we're carrying out, and we update each other on what we've been working on. A whole range of stuff. It can be going and talking at things, it can be writing reports, it can be going out and talking to students, sitting in on meetings. And that's, I think, what I absolutely love the most about this role, that it isn't the same at all. Not one day in the year and 3 months I've been involved in the Students' Union.
It's estimated that by the end of this year, over £50,000 will have been spent on the NUS. There is currently a petition circulating in social networks claiming that the money could be better spent elsewhere. So what does Queen Mary get out of being part of the NUS?
So things that I feel are particularly beneficial from being part of the NUS are the support that we get on national campaigns. So for example, the work that we're doing at the moment around fees going up, that's because of changes that the government are bringing in around higher education. So whilst our university can choose to put fees up year on year, it's the government that have allowed them to do that. And actually, the National Union of Students, their vice president, they are instrumental in lobbying the government on issues like this. We also receive a lot of our training as officers through the NUS, and they have London regional networks that are open to all students. So students that feel passionately about campaigning on certain areas can go along and meet like-minded students from other universities as well.
Do you think that the power of the NUS to lobby government is enough? Do you think it is sufficient at the moment?
I think that I'm so impressed by actually how the current officers have presented themselves, the different approaches that they've taken. Whether the student voice is actually taken as instrumental, something that's important by the government, is something that I worry about. Definitely.
In the student union elections for president, turnout amongst students has been around 20% for the last few years.
Yeah.
Do you think that undermines your legitimacy at all?
It is something that I'd love to see improved, and that's something I want to work on this year. I hope that students feel that I'm a good representative And I hope that actually, because we have other mechanisms in place like student council, so that people can come along and they can say, they can hold me to account. And that's honestly what I want people to do. If they don't feel that I'm doing a good job, I would honestly want them to tell me that, or ask me, why aren't you focusing on this, or you promised you'd do this, let me know how far you've got along. So hopefully, even if people didn't vote, or if they voted for another candidate, they'd feel that I was still doing right by them, or they could challenge that if they didn't feel that was the case.
Why did the desks in the People's Palace keep being removed?
In the Great Hall, that wasn't actually initially built for teaching at all. It was built for public engagement. They used to have gigs in there way back when. And then as our student numbers have grown, they move students into that space for teaching. And then the desks apparently take 3 hours to pack away. So they will be moved back for events that are being held in there that don't require the extra teaching space, and then have to be reassembled for teaching.
Why doesn't the student union have minibuses for the use of student groups?
Put it into student council. I don't think that's a bad idea at all, actually, but you've just got to make sure, obviously, that people are safe, are insured to do so, and then work out some sort of rota, because we have over 60 sports clubs. I think they're the ones that probably travel the most. 250 societies, 8 student media outlets, volunteering groups, fundraising. So it'd be looking at how you manage that, where we keep it. It's a pretty good idea. Whoever asked the question, submit it to student council.
Similar to that, why does the university not provide free transport to our home ground in Chislehurst for sports clubs, considering some of our home pitches are outside of London? Many other London universities find themselves in the same position with their home pitches outside of London, but they do provide free transport for students to get there.
We have a block grant that we apply to the university for each year, so that's something that I will go in February and have to lobby for that money to be given to us for these projects. And we have a certain amount that is for sports. The sports officers at the beginning of the year meet with Club Sport Committee, and they decide where that funding goes and how it's split amongst teams. So because we have 2 sites as well, so we have more than one rugby team, because we have Mile End and then we have BL. We have to look at how resources are split amongst these teams, and primarily we decide to cover the cost of coaching, and then the rest of the money is split on other areas, and teams can use that. And I appreciate that it doesn't cover all of their travel costs, particularly if you're then playing away. Chislehurst is home ground.
Some students are calling for more seats to be put in place around the university, as classrooms are frequently occupied and the library is always very busy.
Yeah.
So
what we're going to do about it.
So what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, that's something actually that I spoke to the principal about this morning in our catch-up. Is we have had such a rise in student numbers. I didn't even realise that in 2015 we shot up by another 2,000 students. Our finance director, or the university's finance director, is really keen to have some like quick fix spaces and seats where people can congregate and get on with work. But to me, that's not a library space, and that's what I think we need to be prioritising long term, is expanding the library so students can collect in a space where they have the resources that they need.
In the silent working areas in the library, there's currently a lot of building work going on outside. So can you give us an update on that and when the building work might be done and the silent areas might become silent again?
Samira followed this up after student council last week, and they said that it should be done at the end of this week, and we're on Friday, and there were still works going on in the library today. So it should be soon, but it's really frustrating because this is for one space that will increase the amount of people that can use it, but actually at the moment it's impacting on people's work.
And finally, what are the current campaigns that the student union is currently working on?
Fab. So at the moment we've launched a big change survey, so this will influence our next strategic plan, which lasts for the next 3 years. So we can really shape the work that we're doing around what students want us to do and what they care about. And it also means that we can target our communications, because that was something that a lot of people said to me in elections, that emails that are sent round aren't specific to the things that I'm interested in. So this means that we can pick out different sort of types of students that have interests in certain areas, and then you can identify as having those interests, and then you'll receive certain types of emails. So today Adam's had QM International, so gathering all of our cultural societies, and they've been in the Octagon where they've performed, they've been giving people free food, teaching them their languages, which is really exciting. He said he's had over 950 people there so far. We're also looking at our Freeze Our Fees campaign. So this is around making sure that fees don't go up for both our incoming and existing students next year. So we've asked students to sign a petition, but we're very proactively lobbying the university and its college council on this matter. So at least once a day I'm meeting with someone to talk about this. And then Samira's looking at a survey called Please Sir, Can I Have Some More? Which will look at resources that you get on your course, so e-materials, Q review, and then this will be used to present back to academics in the new year on what areas she thinks they should really be focusing on, or what areas the university can invest more funding in.
Okay, thank you for speaking with us today.
Great, thank you so much.